I spent almost $10 million at the Diamond Casino to find out if it's rigged. And the result? Well, they're surprising to say the least. I played 96 games of horse racing, 72 hands of blackjack, 132 hands of poker, 213 rounds of roulette, and 480 spins off the slot machine. So, let's find out which ones are actually fair value and which ones are designed to completely rip you off. So, let's start off with horse racing. Now, horse racing is probably one of the most interesting games in the casino because there are multiple horses to choose from and each one has different odds. The basic idea is simple. You pick a horse, place a bet, and if that horse wins, you are paid based on the odds. The higher the odds, the less likely the horse is to win. But if it does win, the payout is much bigger. And I decided to make this a bit difficult for myself. Every time I picked the horse with the highest odds, so essentially I was betting on the horse that was least likely to win. And I wasn't exactly playing with smaller amounts either. I was putting $10,000 every single race. And sometimes it worked. I got lucky a few times, and then I decided to switch my plan. I only bet on the horse with the highest odds of winning. And this time around, I kept winning much more often. Eventually, I played 96 races at $10,000 per race. That's $960,000 wagered just on horse racing. And after 96 races, I ended up with $0 as my total profit. I also ended up losing whatever I could, but the win rates were 43%. So most of the times, you do end up getting a 1 out of 2 chance if you bet on the highest possible odds available on the horse. Now that I found out that horse racing was already looking pretty questionable, I wanted to try some of the games which were pretty much better. So I moved on to Blackjack. And Blackjack is probably one of the few casino games where you can actually make decisions that affect the outcome. The rules are pretty straightforward. You and the dealer are dealt cards, and your goal is to get as close to 21 as possible without going over. You can hit to take another card or stand to keep the hand you have already. If you go over 21, you lose automatically. If you finish closer to 21 and the dealer is going over, you win again. Simple enough, but the problem is, I don't know blackjack strategies well enough to just make these decisions myself. So I found a simple solution. I found a cheat sheet to use, which most blackjack players swear by. So with the cheat sheet in my hand, I started to play around. And the maximum bet you could do was $5,000. And after multiple rounds of either winning or losing, and almost 90% of the time losing, I ended up playing 72 hands with the maximum bet of 5,000. So basically I spent 360,000 on blackjack. After all those 72 hands, again, I made zero profits, which means even when I felt I could make some money, I ended up losing everything. I was literally using a strategy design to make this mathematically the best decision, and I still couldn't make any money for myself. But this is where things get interesting. Because if blackjack is supposed to be the one which is more strategic game, what happens when you move over to poker? Now, before you guys move forward in the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe because I've been posting videos constantly. And now, back to poker. Poker works a little differently. You start with 2 cards and then community cards are placed on the table. Your goal is to make the strongest 5-card poker hand. But in the casino, you only get to play 3 hands, which means your odds of winning are rather slim. You can get a pair, you can get 3 of a kind, straight, flush, full house, all of those put together. So it felt like I had a better chance of winning here because if you can see the cards and you can also expect what is stronger than the other, then you have a better chance of winning against the dealer. But after playing 5,000 as my maximum bid for 132 times and wagering over 660,000 on poker, my profit again was literally zero. None of these games worked out for me and I felt they were all rigged against me. So I moved on to one where rigging might be a bit of a negative situation because it's black or it's red. So I moved on to roulette. When it comes to roulette, you can get higher winnings if you choose a number between 0 and 36 on the wheel. And if your number is selected and the ball falls on the number, you get a huge amount of return. But I was going to play it safe because there's no chance that I can constantly drive wins when it comes to numbers. So I had a very simple logic. I play black or I play red. So I started to play only on black because I felt in GTA San Andreas, black was the highest odds and I thought it was going to be the same here. So I ended up playing some rounds here, and when it came to black, I won 46% of the times. The other 47% were on red and the other 7% were on green. Now I played 213 rounds, which means I wagered about $1 million straight through roulette. And over $1 million later, just betting on black, I had a profit of $15,000, which was the highest profit I've had in the casino up to now. So now that $15,000 felt like it's not a big wager amount and something that I'll be really proud of, I moved on to the one thing that could change my life. Millions of people go to slot machines and end up winning millions of dollars. So, hoping for the same luck, I moved on to the most important part, and that is going for the maximum bets and selecting the best option that is out there. Now, I wanted to check the important rate and the other slot machines, but someone did tell me that Deity of the Sun is the best one to go to. So I went back to Deity of the Sun. I had no cheat sheets, no cards to count, no major payouts inside, and no decisions to make. All he had to do was just pull the button and pray. So I decided to put 2,500 per spin on the machine, and I played 480 spins. And then this happened. I won 1.25 million as my biggest outcome right here. This was the biggest win I've ever had, and that would make it enough for me to buy a penthouse. So before I jumped into anything else, I just went on with the spins because I expected this to be another big major win coming my way. After losing, breaking even, and finally hitting a massive payout, I did not stop. And while playing constantly, I somehow made my way to $1.9 million. So when it came to the slot machine, I made a profit of $1.5 million, which was crazy. So after pulling millions of dollars through the Diamond Casino, is it rigged? Well, I don't think you can call casino games rigged, because simply, you're meant to lose. These games are designed to give the casino an advantage over time, and that's exactly what makes this experiment so interesting. Because some games feel absolutely brutal, some basically broken even, and one of them turned my relatively small bankroll into 1.9 million. I think I can rank them based on my experience, so you don't have to. Horse racing is going to be a straight 5 out of 10 because the odds of winning are half if you use the right strategy, that is, and bet on the easiest horse to win. Blackjack, I'm not too sure. I'm still going to give it a 4 out of 10 because if you use the cheat sheet, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Poker is pretty tough because there's a high chance that it's rigged against you, so I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Roulette is going to be a 50-50, and slots, I would say, is 1 out of 10, even though it gave me $1.9 million, because 99% of the time, you end up losing. Maybe in the next video, I'm going to check what happened when you actually spend $10 million in the casino. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to drop a like. I live stream almost every single day, so you guys can check that out. Drop your challenges in so I can follow them and make them out for you. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.